Hello, and again, welcome to Bit Depth. I'm Santiago Ramones. Across from me is
Lindsey Cox.
Thank you so much for doing this with me. As I just told you, I use this as an excuse to network with people that I'm interested in, and I've seen your stuff for years, and I'm like, this is a cool person I need to get on my podcast.
Aw,
so thank
you.
So who are you and what do you do?
So I'm Lindsey. I am the lead singer and guitarist of Stepmom, and I'm also the box office manager and talent booker for Factory Obscura, which is a collective of artists in Oklahoma City that make immersive art experiences.
Yeah. Those are some of the coolest things ever, especially just like the fact that it's happening in Oklahoma City, because people don't seem to be aware yet that art is happening here.
It's happening.
Yeah. So I guess which of these do you consider to be your biggest thing, or is all of it your biggest thing?
I think all of it. It all consumes my life. Yeah. So, yeah. And I'm equally as excited about both aspects.
So then let's start with, how did you get started in music?
So I grew up singing in choir, first grade through my freshman year of college at UCO. And I've always been very intrigued with the sound of many voices harmonizing. It's just very magical to me. I'm an alto. So yeah, I've always loved singing. I've always loved performing. It makes me super nervous to perform and probably always will, but I really enjoy that adrenaline rush. Was involved in some musicals in my high school. I joined a garage rock band my junior year of high school with some guy friends of mine. It was called Lost and Found. Very cool.
Very high school band name.
Yes. And yeah, that basically consisted of a lot of Paramore covers. We performed at, the Edmond Arts Festival and, any school festivals that happened, the state fair. So that was kind of my introduction into being in a band setting. And so from there, one of my guy friends, Carson, he ended up joining Lost and Found our senior year. And then in college, he started his own project called Kingfish. And I sang harmony for that group. And then that's where I met my bandmate, John, from the So Help Me's. He was the drummer in that project, and we decided to make our own band. And he got some friends of his from the UCO jazz program to be in the So Help Me's. And that was a very fun period of my life that I look back fondly on.
I actually know both the Johns from UCO. I was the drum major for the marching band for a little bit. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Small world.
Yeah, it is a small world. So yeah, that was really fun, but like all good things, nothing good lasts forever. So ended up falling apart. And after that project, I sort of didn't know who I was anymore without it, because I had spent so much of my time very invested in that project. So I took a break from music for a while, and just tried to figure out what I wanted to do next. And that's how Stepmom was born. And that's what I'm currently doing now.
Yeah. What is Stepmom? Why Stepmom? Even just the name, but like, what is it?
It's my solo project, basically. And it's how I discovered that I am a songwriter. In the So Help Me's, I was not the main songwriter. I did write some of the melodies in the songs, but wasn't really my art that was being put out. Stepmom is much needed in my life because it's my own identity. It's songs from my past and my life And it's me, discovering myself as a musician.
Yeah. So now actually why the name Stepmom?
I don't know. A lot of my songs are pretty angsty, and what's more angsty than your relationship with your stepmom when you're growing up? I mean, I have a stepmom and she's super cool and I don't have any angsty feelings towards her, but, and when picking the name, I was, super into like husbands and soccer mommy. And so the name just kind of was inspired from those bands.
Family name bands.
Yeah.
So I guess who are your main influences in Stepmom, and I guess who has also been your influences over time, over the years, and sort of how that contributed to where you are now?
The White Stripes, Jack White is one of my main influences. I started listening to them in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And there's just something about his guitar solos that, they are very spiritual to me. So yeah, White Stripes for sure. It's just pure rock and roll. Gets me going. More recently, like Neutral Milk Hotel has inspired me. Angel Olsen, Sufjan Stevens. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Who knows?
No one really knows. Who else?
I was listening to it earlier and I was like, I'm detecting some, and maybe this is my bias, but like early Death Cab.
Sure. I listened to Death Cab in high school, but definitely not like a huge
Death
fan.
Cab.
Possibly. Trying to think of who else. I've been influenced by Caroline Rose recently. Her more as like an artist more so than the musician, just the way she carries her project and puts it out there. And she's very artistic with her vision. And that's something that I try to be intentional about, is like the vision behind the music and not so much just the music.
Yeah. Cool. Bringing it back a little bit more, your experience, it seems like you've kind of gone through the different worlds or like boxes that is, choir world and theater world, and I guess a little of jazz world if you count that, but and now contemporary rock. What has been your experience through all of that, and how do they connect to you?
Yeah, just moving through those different phases of my life, you always learn new things, and I don't know, I pull influences from all of those different aspects of my life. Very much like harmonies from choir, very much the theatrics of a live performance from my musical days. And so they all kind of help create what I do today.
Yeah. So then I guess, when did you first realize that music is what you want to do with your life?
So it's always been, a hobby of mine, but when I was in college, I was very much of the mindset, I need to have a grown-up job and make, money, and then I can just keep music as a hobby. But it was actually the last day of college, and I was writing this paper for one of my psychology classes on like my plans for my future. And it was in that moment that I decided I was not going to go to grad school and that I was just going to wait tables and pursue music because it's the only thing that really makes me happy. So yeah, I was like, wow, I just spent the last 4 years wasting my time doing something that doesn't make me happy because I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the trap of college, isn't it? What did you major in?
Forensic science and psychology.
Cool. Why?
It was the only thing that interested me. I kind of bounced around like English major, political science, and then I took a forensic science class at UCO, and they have one of the best programs there. Mm-hmm. And one of the former heads of the FBI is like the director, and it just entranced me. I was like, whoa, this is really cool. And I'm sort of into, gory things. So it's like, I think I can stomach this. I think I can handle it. And it was just, I don't know, it was interesting. So it's the only thing that kind of drew me in.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it crazy that we just expect that like young people out of high school will know what they want to do for the rest of their lives?
Pretty messed up.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel your pain. So then Factory Obscura, how did you get wrapped up in that mess?
Let's see. Okay. So taking it back, when I was on tour with the So Help Me's, we played a show in Albuquerque, and one of the bands, this is 2016, one of the bands we played with, they were like, you have to check out this place called Meow Wolf.
Yeah.
And this is like early Meow Wolf, House of Eternal Return, was not busy at all. And we had no clue what it was. So, and we were really hesitant to go because the ticket price was a little high and we were poor. But we went, and it was a life-changing experience for me, just seeing just the power of what humans can create through art, and just take you into different worlds. And it was just a very spiritual experience for me, honestly. And so when I came back home, I somehow discovered that Factory Obscura was a thing, and I knew it's something that I needed to be involved with. So I just started showing up to their volunteer nights, and got to know some of the artists and some of the founders there, and kind of let them know what my interests were, and, that I was into music and all of that. And one of the founders ended up emailing me and saying, hey, there's this immersive theater company that is putting on a production inside of our Beyond experience. And would you want to be involved in that? And I was like, yes. So I, submitted my headshot and resume to this company called 19th Century Hound. Ron Burton is the director. And kind of went out of my comfort zone because I hadn't been in theater or anything for a very long time. So I ended up being involved in that production at Factory Obscura, and just being in the building so much, got to know the people that work there a little more. And then from that show, I got inspired to create my own immersive performance piece with my bandmate at the time, John. We were still in the So Help Me's, and we wanted to create an immersive piece based around the Beatles' Abbey Road, because it was one of our favorite albums by them. So we got with the main writer for Those Who Lie Beyond, which was that immersive play, and he helped us create a storyline behind Abbey Road and created this narrative and characters that we could create. And so we, through being involved with Factory Obscura, I got to know a lot of artists and dancers and all sorts of people. And so from that pool, I reached out and said, would you all be interested in being a part of this immersive project I'm putting on? And so got a crew of musicians and dancers together, and we created this really beautiful piece that we performed at Factory Obscura for their summer solstice performance weekend. I don't even know, was this 2018? Probably. So anyway, the founders at Factory kind of got to see what my capabilities were. Yeah. And I was working at Tower Theater at the time. And I wanted to be more involved with like booking and things like that. So I presented an idea for a music series to the founders called Future of Sound Fest, which encourages musicians to collaborate with artists of various mediums to create a unique live show. And they were very interested in that. So we partnered with them, Tower and Factory Obscura. And so I got to be the lead on that and book artist for that. And eventually they offered me a job to work for them full time and be box office manager and also do the thing that I love, which is talent booking and cultivating events and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. The advice that people always give of like, oh, how do I get into the music industry? Is like, you really do have to like be there and show up. And that's like the best example of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then day-to-day stuff, what does working at a immersive art experience look like, sound like?
Yeah, it's different day to day. So the first 2 days of my week is my admin time. So I'm answering emails. A lot of people have ticketing questions that I have to reply to. I build tickets for upcoming events. Also help with marketing. So we're in marketing meetings and also run the social media. So I'm making a schedule for all of the future posts for the next week and typing out the copy for that and finding the photos and making sure I'm crediting the right people for the photos. And currently I am editing music videos for Mixtape Volume 2, and we're releasing those weekly. And I'm still in the editing process, so I have a lot of catching up I need to do. But so that's that. And then Thursday through Saturday, I am working at the box office, and I'm more customer facing. And, I'm the first person they see when they walk in. So I give them the rundown on what Factory Obscura is and what they're about to experience. And a lot of people that come in, they're from out of town and they're traveling and they have no clue what they're about to step into. So it's really fun getting to explain that to them and then see how they kind of transform whenever they come out of the space.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. What we kind of talked about before hitting record is like what jobs in like music and art fields look like. And it's like, there's always something to do. And it's really interesting to see that like, yeah, there's jobs for this. You don't have to like, wait tables all the time and just have music on the side as a hobby.
Right. Yeah. There's always things.
Yeah. And people like can help with that too. Also, like Factory Obscura takes a lot of volunteer help as well, right?
They more so did in the past.
Okay,
They're very passionate about making sure people get paid for the work that they do. So trying to step away from the volunteer model a little bit just to make sure everyone's getting paid for the work they do.
And that's a valuable thing too, because we've all done a lot of gigs that either pay very little or not at all. So
yeah.
So then I guess in the span of everything that you do, what's sort of a deep nitty gritty or like advanced thing that you're super into that like is really nerdy and applies to what you do?
Probably it's not super advanced or anything, but just the aspect of creating an immersive environment for your audience. Mm-hmm. So like stage design, lighting, props is something that I think about a lot. Just making sure that the audience is immersed in my world whenever I'm performing, and making sure that my set is very intentional and that there's transitions. I like to run samples through my guitar pedals and mess with the different effects that I get and use that for transitions. Just because I hate dead space between songs. Oh, yeah. It's my pet peeve. And when you're tuning and it's just dead quiet and the audience think, oh, nothing's happening, so we can like talk amongst ourselves. But in reality, like the show's still happening. And so yeah, just making sure there's no dead space is something that I always strive towards. And yeah, just making sure it's very immersive.
A show is a show.
Yeah.
I guess more philosophical in this vein of it, but like, why? Why make art?
Yeah. Well, it's the only thing that makes me feel completely whole as a person. And I learned that when I took a break from it during the shutdown and in between bands. And I only feel like my whole self when I am performing and writing music. And I love connecting with the audience and feeling that energy being passed back and forth. I think that is very spiritual. And yeah, when you write a song and you get that high, it just confirms that this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. So yeah.
Yeah. Nothing else like it. And kind of more deeper philosophical questions about music. Is there such a thing as bad music?
I think it's all relative. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can say something is bad because I have a certain taste in music, and then someone else might think it's good. So, I don't know. I don't think there is such a thing as bad music, because it's all relative.
Yeah. Just music you like or don't like.
Yeah.
Is there such a thing as selling out?
I don't really think so anymore. I mean, people are trying to make money from music, and I think that's fine if that's what selling out means. It's tough. Like, no, I don't think so. I mean, more power to you if you get on a commercial with your music and you're making money. Like, that's awesome for you. I think selling out came from like, oh, we want to keep it super punk and like you're giving into the man, but everyone's just trying to survive.
Yeah. And any punk band that you've heard of has already sold out. Right. Because you've heard of them.
Exactly. Like, the point is you want more people to hear your music. I do have an issue with a band changing their sound to, I don't know, become more mainstream and more popular with the masses, and they're not staying true to themselves. Mm-hmm. That's when I think selling out is kind of shitty.
Yeah. Then I guess with that, how can you identify authenticity in music?
I don't think the person listening to the music can identify, as long as the person making the music knows that it's something that truly makes them happy. Like, that's the only way that it's authentic, is if it's something that you thoroughly enjoy. And yeah, I think there's no way to detect it.
Yeah. And then, do you separate art from the artist?
Yes and no. I was having this conversation with my boyfriend as far as like Michael Jackson goes. Like we're still listening to Thriller during Halloween time, and he did some terrible things, but he's also dead. And you can't really cancel a dead person. I don't know. It's just, and his art spans his whole life, and he has music out from when he was a kid. And I don't know, it's just really tough to be able to say, like, I'm never going to listen to a Michael Jackson song again. Like, I don't think I would wear like a Michael Jackson t-shirt and like be like, yeah, Michael Jackson's awesome. But yeah, that documentary that came out
makes it hard.
Makes it hard. Yeah, it makes it hard. It's tough. Yeah, I think it's all situational. I think it depends on what the person did and how severe the action is. And yeah, it's all situational.
Yeah. and then also just like, I feel like the line of like actually morally abhorrent things versus like Kanye West is just kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Which always comes up in this question. But like, if someone's an asshole, does that make you not want to listen to their music? Because like, it's not like a crime to be an asshole, you know?
No. I mean, I can enjoy a Kanye West song, but I don't have to support him further than that. I don't have to like buy his merch and promote him in any way. Yeah. And some other person might not think he's an asshole and might worship him. So it's very subjective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then what's something people don't normally know about you?
Probably that I have 2 degrees in forensic science and psychology. Not many people know that. They're surprised by that. But yeah, if I could go back, I would probably get a degree in something a little more useful to me today, like marketing or
business administration or whatever.
Or even music. So, yeah.
But even like in retrospect, I think maybe it's just for myself, but like, yeah, maybe now I would appreciate those things. But like, I don't know if 18-year-old me would have the patience to like get through that.
Yeah. Same.
I mean, do you find yourself using any of the knowledge from forensic science or psychology in your things you do now?
I'm very aware of my surroundings at all time, like just hearing the horror stories in my forensic science classes and all of the mass murderers. And I always have, not always, but I typically keep a taser with me. And even on my Uber drive here, I had a taser in my in my fanny pack just in case, because it's scary being a woman in this world. And that's just a burden I have to carry with me at all times, is that there are violent men in the world and, and women, but I just have to watch my back.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And then what advice do you have for people that are trying to do what you do?
Probably just to start doing it. And if you want to be, more involved in the music scene, then go out to shows and talk to the bands that you look up to, and just start being involved in the community and put yourself out there. Yeah.
Switching gears, and there's no good way to transition, just getting into the deep questions. What is the role of spirituality or religion in your life?
I'm not a very religious person, and As far as spirituality goes, music is my main form of spirituality. And, sometimes when I'm doing something mundane, like driving in my car or, I don't know, cleaning my house, I sometimes take a moment and stop and feel this overwhelming sense of gratitude that I am alive and I am able to perceive the world, and I have a consciousness, and just take a moment to thank whatever entity set into motion the string of events that led me to where I am. So yeah.
Yeah. With the mention of whatever entity, what is your definition of God?
I don't really know. I think it is just something that can't be comprehended by our feeble human minds. And I think it's, all encompassing, and maybe we're all God. I don't know. Yeah, it's whatever set into motion everything that we're experiencing. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What is free will?
Well, being able to decide for yourself what you want to do, I guess. And I don't know if we have it. If time is the fourth dimension, I believe that there are entities that can move freely through time. And if that's the case, it's possible everything's already laid out and everything has already happened, and everything is also happening at the same time. And we just see a sliver of what's out there. And we're under the illusion that we have free will. But I think it's all happening at once. It's already happened. It's been happening. It's all simultaneously happening at the same time. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I agree with you. But it's also interesting to hear. And if you don't agree, well, that's also interesting. What do you think happens when we die?
I think we're all just energy, and our energy disperses elsewhere into the universe and is recycled and put into something else. Any other living beings, it could be grass, it could be trees, it could be a squirrel. It's just dispersed. And, I want to believe that my consciousness will go elsewhere and I'll be able to remember everything that I've experienced. And I would like to believe that I will experience something after. But deep down, I don't think that's how it's going to happen. I think that's just it. And you're just recycled into new life.
Yeah. And that's okay. How do you determine what good behavior is?
I have my own moral compass, and I think that anything that I wouldn't want someone to do to me, I wouldn't do to them. So anything that you don't want someone to do to you, that's pretty good behavior, but also good and bad are subjective, and constructs that aren't really real. So yeah.
But the golden rule is always a good one to bounce back onto. I need to make this a permanent question and put it somewhere else. But did you grow up with religion or spirituality? Did that how was that instilled in you by your parents and your youth?
Yeah. Growing up when I was young, we did go to a Presbyterian church pretty regularly, but I didn't really absorb anything from that because I was just too young. And then after my parents got a divorce, we stopped going to church. And my dad really just told me, like, you believe whatever you want to believe. Don't let anybody put their beliefs on you. And he was always pretty atheist and agnostic. And so that's kind of how I grew up. And that was definitely not the norm growing up in Edmond, Oklahoma. A lot of my classmates heard that I was agnostic and immediately thought I worshiped the devil. So that was fun.
It's just a problem of definitions.
Yeah. So I was definitely the oddball growing up. A lot of my classmates were Christian and Republican, and I was the opposite. So, yeah.
We're all God. That's how we got there. How do we reduce the division between people?
I think people need to realize that we're all the same. We're all human. We all want the same things. And quit living in your own bubble of the media you consume and try to be open to more perspectives. I honestly think we're not going to be more united until fucking aliens come down and shake us and make us realize how insignificant and small we really are. But you'd think a global pandemic would do the trick, but that's just caused even more division. So maybe if aliens came down, we would be even more divided. So,
I mean, they're already here. We've been seeing the UFOs. The government confirmed it. So it's like, well.
Yeah. I think people need to realize the humanity in others. And I think social media plays a huge part in the division. And everyone is just, living in their own bubble, and they're seeing what they want to see. They're being fed exactly what they want to see. And I think if everyone just stepped away from their computers and phones and got out into nature and talked to their neighbor, maybe, had a better sense of community, I think that would definitely help. Yeah.
But that's scary.
I know. It took a lot for me when my boyfriend and I just moved recently in the neighborhood behind Aldi on May and 47th Street. And when we moved in, I was like, I need to meet our neighbors because we're noisy musicians and they need to have our number in case we're too loud. So I baked some cookies and I walked around to our surrounding houses and left them little notes and said, hey, we're your neighbors and we're also musicians. So let us know if we're too loud. And that has helped a lot because I've learned the names of my neighbors and I can say hello to them. And one morning my car wouldn't start and I did not feel uncomfortable knocking on my neighbor's door and saying, hey, can you give me a jump? So only good things can come out of being more neighborly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I need to talk to my neighbors.
And it's hard, after you move in and you've been living by your neighbor for so long, it's oh, now you're coming over to say hi. That's awkward. So you kind of nip it in the bud, just get it over with.
Yeah. But also, I mean, awkwardness is temporary. So just freaking get over yourself, Santiago. Do you believe humans are evil by nature?
No. I think people are shaped by their environment, and there's no way a baby could be evil. It's impossible. I do think that there are certain, I don't know, like, I think a lot of mass murderers and like serial killers have imbalances in their brain, which can also play a factor. But I really think therapy would help with that. Instead of throwing away, you know, people that do bad things, let's put more focus on rehabilitation and therapy. I think everybody should have a therapist. Yeah.
Yeah. I always forget who the quote is from, but you don't climb Mount Everest without a Sherpa. And why should we go through life without one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I also don't have a therapist. What do you think humanity is heading towards in the future?
I don't think it's good where we're headed. If things don't change quickly, I think global warming is a huge issue, and maybe not in our lifetime, but the next generation are going to have to really deal with the mess that's been left behind. Yeah, it makes me really sad thinking of where our priorities are as a nation, and capitalism is definitely the driving force towards our detriment. So I think we need a huge overhaul and a huge reckoning. And that's not going to be easy to do.
Is there a pragmatic reckoning, or like, or, you know, do we got to go full Night of the Long Knives on this?
Oh God. I mean, there's a lot of people that think there's going to be another civil war, and I think it's just going to take the old white men and the government dying out, and new people coming in to really make some change. Yeah.
There's a lot of politics in there. I don't know if you want to get into that, but yeah. What makes you optimistic about our future?
Honestly, the old white men in government dying, that makes me optimistic. Like, get the fuck out. Let's get some more diversity and representation of different groups in power. And I really think the younger generations are going to be what save us, because they are acutely aware of what's going wrong. And the old white men in Washington just want to hold on for dear life to their power and to the systems that have benefited them. And yeah, we have just a huge class divide right now, and it's terrifying. And I really hope, I'm optimistic that things will change in the future as soon as we get new people in power.
Yeah. What makes you content?
Eating a good meal makes me content. I love me some food. Yeah.
What is, like, you know, plate us a good meal for you?
Recently I've really been into salmon. So like a nice grilled salmon with roasted Brussels sprouts and broccoli and some jasmine rice. And then I make this reduction sauce with soy sauce and brown sugar and teriyaki sauce and garlic. And then I pour it over the whole dish, and makes Lindsey happy.
Yeah. You're welcome, listeners, for that auditory food porn. Yeah. And thank you. When will you be satisfied?
I don't think I'll ever be satisfied. I think if I'm satisfied, then I'm not pushing towards the next thing. So I'm always looking, to do a new project and work on new things and keep pushing myself to be better and better. So, I hope I'm never fully satisfied, because that means I'm at a stopping point and there's just so many things I want to do. And yeah.
What advice do you have for people in general?
Do what makes you happy. Surround yourself with people that accept you for exactly who you are. Don't be anybody that you're not. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just if you're doing something that doesn't make you happy, don't do it anymore. And, only you can hold yourself back. Don't let anybody else hold you back from your full potential. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I want to fill the rest of the time, and there are other questions that I wanted to ask you anyways. How does collaboration play a role in your creativity? You mentioned that Stepmom's more of like your solo project. But yeah, I guess how does that compare of like solo brain versus collaborative brain?
Yeah. Well, solo brain is the brain that, writes the music and comes up with the songs. And then the collaborative aspect is I bring the song to the band and we all kind of dissect it together and figure out what parts should stay, what parts should leave. And then my band creates their own parts and really brings the whole thing to life. So it's very much like solo, but also a lot of collaboration. And in other aspects, like music videos and things like that, I like to collaborate with other artists. So like recently, I did a stop motion music video for Stepmom, and I got a lot of advice from my roommate, Nicole Emmons, who is a professional stop motion animator. And she sort of showed me the ropes, and that was really helpful. And I knew I wanted hand-drawn animations on top, so I reached out to my friend Jay Shropshire, who works over at Tower Theater, and he collaborated with me and added his own art to the project. And yeah, I think way more things are possible with collaboration. Just there's so many people out there with different skill sets that you don't have. And if you come together, you can really create something that is truly magical.
Yeah. I think something I realized recently is that, like, maybe not that recently, but you just can't do everything yourself.
Yeah.
And you just need other people to contribute what time they have had honing a skill in another thing to your thing, because there's only so much we can do by ourselves.
Yeah, I have to keep telling myself that, because I have an issue with delegating things. I'm like, okay, if I want this to happen, I'm just going to do it myself because I have a deadline and, I don't want to be pressuring someone to deliver. So I'll just do it myself. You know what I mean? Like graphic design, like I need a poster done. I'll figure it out. Like I'll make a poster. I'll do it because I don't want to I don't know. I just have a problem delegating things. And I think I need to learn how to do that more effectively.
Right. Well, it's even on those things, it's like whenever you try to do something yourself, you're also kind of like learning how to do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, it took me 5 hours to figure out how to do a freaking design. It took an actual graphic designer like 20 minutes because that's just skills that they have that I don't.
Right.
Yeah. So then I guess more of the creative process, like, do you feel like whenever you make something that it is like always just yours, or I guess how do you let other people in is another part of that question, I guess.
I think creating the space, the room for additions to be made. So yeah, I invite my bandmates to be creative, and if they have any input at all, like definitely listen to it. And we did collaboratively write a song together for Factory Obscura's Mixtape Volume 1. And we sat in the melancholy room in Factory Obscura and wrote a song based on melancholy. And yeah, we fully collaborated from beginning to end on that one. And that was really fun. It just takes a lot of time to be together. And it takes me a really long time to write a song. So, well, some songs more than others, but I think just with everybody's schedules being so crazy, it's easier for me to have that creative time myself and then present something, and then we go from there. It's hard for me to write with other people when we have nothing to go off of. Luckily, with that Factory Obscura project, we had, a topic, which was melancholy, and the room to go off of. So that was a little easier, but yeah, I like to present something that's somewhat finished, and then see what happens next.
Yeah. And I guess going off of the more the spirit of creation, how do you shake things up? Do you have methods for writing, or do you just like hunker down and like, this needs to be a song, and so I just do it?
I think a little bit of both. Like sometimes I will just sit and I'm like, okay, I need to come up with a song. Like, whoa, okay, what's happened to me the last few months that I could write about? Just brainstorm. But typically it'll just hit me. Like I'll be in the car where I'll be at work and I'll just be humming a melody. That's typically how it starts. And I will record that in my voice memos. And then I will refer back to it when I'm alone in my my music room. And after the melody comes the chords on the guitar, and then I add the lyrics last, typically. So yeah, sometimes it just comes in a flash. Sometimes it takes a long time to pull out of me. I don't consider myself a very strong songwriter. I feel like I can write good melodies for the most part. So I'm trying to be better about writing lyrics. And so I'm taking a songwriting class with one of my idols in November. I guess it's November now. Yeah. I think it starts November 7th, but Ellen Kumpner, the lead singer and guitarist from Pale Hound, which is, I forgot to mention, is one of my biggest influences. She's doing an online songwriting class, and it's going to be 6 classes, each an hour and 15 minutes long. And sometimes when I write music, I go and reference her lyrics just because I really like how she composes them, and hoping to learn a lot from that class and be a better musician.
So you find it harder to put music to lyrics than the other way around?
Yes. Yeah. Definitely write the music first and then add the lyrics on top.
I'm actually like the other way around. For some reason, the words come to me first, but it is just interesting seeing the different approaches to creativity. I guess, what are your favorite tools to use? Tools more in the sense of just like, oh, I always play the melody out on guitar, or I always prefer singing it first, or whatever that might be.
Yeah, I definitely, coming from the choir world, sing the melody first, and then I find the chords that I need on the guitar by ear. I don't know much theory. I mean, I know, the chord names and stuff like that, but I just have to find it by ear. And then I play around with it and try to come up with a chorus. And so it's always me just singing and then finding what complements that best on guitar.
Mm-hmm. When is the song done?
Honestly, a lot of my songs are always evolving, so never. Like there's songs that I've released on my album that I can't stand to listen to anymore because my tastes have changed, and I wish that I had done something different on them. So I always take the opportunity to reconstruct songs and in the live setting and play them a little differently, because things get boring and you want to mix things up. And when you're playing the same set over and over, like, it's not fun anymore. So always try to mix it up and add new elements.
Yeah. There's some songs that I've been playing like literally since high school, and I straight up just check out whenever I play it.
Yeah, you zone out for sure. And anytime I get that feeling when I'm playing live that I'm zoning out, I'm like, okay, I either should not be playing this song anymore, or I need to change it. Mm. It's like a signal to me that something needs to change.
Yeah. Or you've just been rehearsing a lot. Last question, potentially most importantly, cake or pie?
Definitely cake.
She was ready for it.
Yeah, cake for sure. My boyfriend's mom makes this amazing cake. It's like a wedding cake with fresh, like, strawberry icing. And I could eat that every day. It's so good.
Just to be pedantic here, what makes like a normal cake different from a wedding cake, or the other way around? Yeah, what makes a wedding cake different?
I don't know. I think the wedding cake, it's traditionally like a vanilla almond type situation, very light. So yeah, I think that's just what they call it. I don't know.
Right. We definitely did not. Our wedding cake was an ice cream cake, so
anything could be a wedding cake.
Yeah. It's just like ridiculous to get like the huge thing that no one ever actually eats anyways. Nah.
I mean, it's all for the bride and groom anyway. You just put it in your freezer for eternity. And isn't that a thing? You like take the topper and you put it in your freezer and you like get it out on your like anniversary or something.
Yeah, I mean, we don't do that. We don't actually know where the cake ended up.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's depressing. I would know, like, if I had a wedding cake, I know exactly where that baby's going and I would follow it and I would make sure it's coming home with me. I'm very serious about food.
Yeah. Well, if you've ever planned a wedding, there's a lot of things going on in your mind. And for me, it wasn't the cake. Just lots of other things.
Yeah, anyways. I can imagine.
Lindsey, thank you so much for doing this with me. This is great.
Thank you, Santiago.
Where can we find you and your things?
Okay, so you can follow my band Stepmom on Instagram. It's at stepmomband. And our website is www.stepmomband.com. Yeah, we're on Spotify. We're on all streaming platforms. And come by Factory Obscura sometime and say hi to me. I'm always there.
Yeah, and like go to Factory Obscura stuff.
Yes.
That stuff's cool.
Yeah. Come on out.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'm Santiago Ramones.
And I'm Lindsey Cox.
And now here's Damage Control by Stepmom. You can find everything that I do on my website, santiagoramones.com. I make music and produce audio. The music you're hearing now is music I made. You can listen to official releases by Santiago Ramones on Spotify, Apple Music, and the other streaming places. Or you can buy it on Bandcamp because a single purchase is the monetary equivalent of streaming it all day, every day for about a week. I'm working on an album, so if you'd like to hear that at some point, you can buy my music, or you can support me on Patreon. There's a Discord server in which we discuss deep topics from the podcast, but it's also a community of beautiful human beings. All the links to all my things are on my website, santiagoramones.com. If you like the podcast, leave comments on social media, leave reviews saying how much you like the podcast, and tell your friends about it. I want to help the world have deeper conversations. So thank you for listening to and supporting Bit Depth. Normally I've been putting just like the outro of the thing, of the like all the things that I promote myself at the end. And at the end of it, I have my 3 things. And for years, I've been doing this podcast, and I would actually just say it out loud at the end, and I haven't in a while, and I feel like I've disconnected from my 3 things. And so I'm going to start saying my 3 things out loud in the recording so that it's not just like the re-recorded thing that I put in. So I was in the podcast with my 3 things. They shape my life philosophy. Those 3 things are: love never fails, it's going to be okay, I might be wrong.